peeps, and welcome to day 20 of Shocktober. Today's movie is Near Dark. So Near Dark is about a farmer's son who reluctantly joins a traveling group of vampires after he is turned by a mysterious drifter. All right, let's get into what I liked about Near Dark. Obviously, this is a vampire movie, but I think probably like the most common piece of information you can find about Near Dark is that, ooh, they don't say vampire at all in the movie, which is kind of great. But you find, I think, just that vampire movies are so common now that you don't really miss it at all. Like, the first time I watched it, like, I didn't even realize that they didn't say vampire the entire movie. I think it's just because vampires are just so well known as like a movie monster now that it's like, obviously that's what they are. You don't even need to say it anymore. And I think that says something about movie culture and cinema culture, that you can watch this movie and not even miss the fact that they haven't said the word vampire, but you know what they are. Like, you know, by their mannerisms, by the fact that they have to drink blood and they can't go out in the sun, that they are vampires. And a lot of people compare Lost Boys to Near Dark, and I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You really can't help but notice the similarities when you watch it. The biggest similarity that I always see with Near Dark and the Lost Boys is kind of like the attractiveness of the vampire group. Like, they just seem so cool and nonchalant, and they're so used to their condition by now that it's like attractive to want to join in the group and to want to be part of that group. Of course, we have to talk about Bill Paxton as Severin. In Near Dark, he is 100% a scene stealer. He is like just the epitome kind of like a cowboy vampire. Like, he's got the best one-liners, you know, he whips out his gun a lot. He has like those insane spurs on his boots, and he just like, if John Wayne and Dracula had a baby, Severin would be that vampire baby. I also like that, and I think Near Dark does this a little bit better than the Lost Boys does. I think they really show the not so glamorous side of being a vampire, because I feel like you can almost completely lump all the vampire movies in the world. You can almost completely lump them into two categories. First category being they are these evil monsters that, you know, you would never want to join, and you just, you know, want to defeat them and wipe them off from the earth. The other category kind of being like the cool, slick, or like the Twilight type vampires where, you know, it seems you would more like to be, you know, a vampire than not. Not saying I want to be a vampire from Twilight, but you know what I mean. So I like that Near Dark kind of shows a lot more the downside to being a vampire, because basically, you know, this group of vampires is kind of just like traveling around like without really a purpose. They're kind of just moving from place to place, and you can tell, you know, within like the little moments between them, between like all the fighting and the blood sucking, that they're really kind of just bored. Especially Homer. You really feel for Homer because he is a young child that's turned vampire, and they jokingly call him Old Man because obviously he's been around for a while, but his, you know, he still looks like a young kid. And when he encounters Caleb's sister Sarah, he really becomes fixated on her to the point of desperation, to the point that he runs out in full daylight after her because she's, you know, Caleb is trying to save her and she's getting away. He is that desperate for a companion that he dies because of it. So it's really tragic. So you really you really see just like how long these vampires have been around, and they're not all like Severin, where Severin kind of seems to revel in his, you know, vampire-ness. He likes being a vampire. He likes being a predator. But the other ones, you know, there's just this underlying sadness almost about them that kind of shows like, you know, maybe being a vampire isn't all it's cracked up to be. Only thing I don't like about Near Dark, and I also don't like this about The Lost Boys too, and I think it's just because my preferences and sensibilities, I tend to like the tragic endings a little bit more. So I don't like how easy it is to become human again. What I really like about vampire movies is the tragedy in the permanence of their condition. So it's like, even if you are the most well-mannered and kind vampire in the world and you don't kill anybody, you only take what you need to survive and this, that, and the other, there's still no, you know, there's still no help for you. There's no way to end your eternal life except dying, except being staked or being beheaded, whatever, whatever the movie calls for to kill a vampire. So I prefer a little bit more permanence. I don't like how easy it is to become human again. That being said, should you watch Near Dark? Absolutely. I definitely put it in my top 5 vampire movies of all time. Definitely recommend Near Dark. That being said, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 on IMDb. It has an even 7 out of 10, and Rotten Tomatoes has it at an 88% critic score and a 74% audience score. So if you've seen Near Dark, let me know in the comment section down below what you thought about it. I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're new here and become a creepy peep today. I post videos Monday through Friday, and then we're doing Shocktober this month, so there's an additional movie review every single day. Thank you for watching, and until next time, stay strange.